So if you've been following MedCreator 101, we had kind of our biggest event of the year at the Dermfluencer University session as part of the Science of Skin Summit. Now, we wish everybody had been here at the Dermfluencer University session, but we know that many of you are not, and you're listening to this. So we thought today we'd cover some of the highest yield tips and tricks that our panelists shared about getting started on social media as a healthcare professional.
Welcome back to MedCreator 101. We're actually in person. This is huge. I'm Mimi Banks, founder of MB Social, and I'm joined by Dr. Dustin Portella and Lisa Morris, the CEO of Pierre Fabre USA. And we're live right now recording at the Science of Skin Summit in Austin, Texas.
This is our first live, in-person episode. So everything has been over Zoom, and it's kind of fun to sit down and actually be able to interact in a new way.
And it's so cool to have a microphone actually that's close to me, and I'm not half in, half out in professional recording.
Yeah. So if you've been following MedCreator 101, we had kind of our biggest event of the year at the Dermfluencer University session as part of the Science of Skin Summit, sponsored by Aven, which is under the Pierre Fabre umbrella. So Lisa, thank you for sponsoring this session and helping to bring together more dermatologists and encouraging people to get on social media to share accurate information.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me. Thank you for hosting our podcast a few months ago. But really for us at Aven and Pierre Fabre USA, it's so important to really debunk all the myths that are on social media. We have true experts. They're dermatologists like yourself, Dr. Portella. And we really encourage everyone. We sponsored this event because of it gives the idea. We want to give the education and tools on the how. The dermatologists are the experts. You know all the knowledge. All we can help add with all of your help is the how to bring it to life and really debunk those myths, get real facts and real science on social media platforms.
Yeah, it's so important. And it's great that companies like yourself understand that and help to magnify the voices of dermatologists who are able to get out there and provide that information. Now, we wish everybody had been here at the Dermfluencer University session, but we know that many of you are not, and you're listening to this. So we thought today we'd cover some of the highest yield tips and tricks that our panelists shared about getting started on social media as a healthcare professional.
Yeah, and I think that there were a few themes that resonated. First, for sure, was about education. As a healthcare professional, your mission is to educate. Everything else is secondary, really dispelling any of those myths. Maybe it's the DIY hacks, the wrong usage of ingredients, but really using your forum and your expertise to educate. That was the first and foremost. The second topic that really came up a lot, I think, was about search and how the platforms now are places for search. So even more so, if someone's searching for more information on skincare, they need to find the right kind of information. And TikTok is a search platform. Instagram and YouTube is now on Google. And then there's AI, and AI is just pulling everything. So how can you make sure that you have that right information?
The thing that I thought was interesting about search is we all know we can go to TikTok and search a topic and then be served videos on that. But with the switch over and the push that TikTok is making for TikTok Shop, people can search acne skincare routine in the TikTok Shop, and then they will be shown products and videos that feature those products. And personally, this is not an area where I have made content, is TikTok Shop leaning content, so that when somebody is searching for a product, that my videos show up there. So it's something that I want to test out. And we learned that Aven has just gotten on TikTok Shop. What has that been like for the brand? I don't know if you started to see analytics or feedback, but what's the brand perspective from TikTok Shop, and how can creators leverage a relationship with a brand and the search functions like TikTok to grow their own brand and also partner with a company that they love to recommend?
Yeah, great. No, thank you. We're really in early stages on TikTok Shop, and we've actually done it directly with a distributor called the French Pharmacy. And so very much we use only creators. So we will search. You have to be one of the TikTok registered creators. You will get sent our pieces of products. We're doing mailings every month. And then we also send with that the do's and don'ts, how to say the brand, what are some of the key claims. Again, we don't want myths and misinformation.
Yeah.
So we need people to keep by the guidelines. But definitely then there's the possibility, make your content and get online and it will get picked up. What's great about TikTok is it's truly an analog. And so the great content, it's not whether I like it or you like it. It's the people, the audience like it. That's how the analog works. And so if you make that great piece of content, or when you do, then you get really taken up, picked up and shown more and more. And that's when we'll then notice your name. We'll make sure we reach out. It's very, very grassroots.
Yeah.
It's very much authentic, real content.
So it's more about the creator posting about the brand to get on your radar. It's not really a mechanism for them to reach out and say, I want you to send me product.
Yes.
Yeah, good to know.
But there's a
good
way.
to know.
If you register as a creator, you'll be on the list to set that.
That's
that
actually
gets sent
great.
every month.
And what I learned also is about, Instagram, we talk about the algorithm. TikTok is about views and content and about how there's like keyword rich parts of your video that will then show up to others who are searching for that content. For example, I just went on to look for teen skincare and I saw a lot of dermatologist content, which was very reassuring and not just rogue uses of vitamin C that's not appropriate. But the other thing that's super interesting about TikTok and the creators that you're saying, and what we learned actually from Dante from TikTok, was that it's not about how many followers. It's really about like the relevancy of your content. So if you have something that someone is really interested in, it's probably likely going to resonate with other people and then amplified through comments. And so that there's this whole other community aspect of providing valuable information in comments, replying to other people outside even of your platform.
Yeah, that is a good way to get noticed and get more people coming to your profile. That I really appreciated that Dante shared, who works for TikTok, is going to other videos and leaving educational comments on there, giving your context, your perspective, not in a way that ever argues or demeans the creator, but just go provide value. And if that video is going viral, especially if you get your comment there early, people are going to see your name and a comment that you left that might have hundreds or thousands of likes, and they're going to come to your profile because you just provided value to them and they want more from you. So I think that was really valuable.
And it's different than like just joining a conversation for the sake of it. It's, as you said, providing that value. And I think that it was really interesting what I learned from, we had a panel called Real Talk and we had Doris Day, Dr. Mamina, Dr. Zubritsky, Dr. Lou on talking about how they do things. And really what they really talked about was finding your niche and the ability to be you.
Yeah. Really being yourself, because if you get on social media and you're just posting skincare content like everybody else, you got to find some way to give the audience something that differentiates you, a unique value proposition, maybe a little bit of personal life. That doesn't mean you got to showcase your kids or anything, but find a way to stand out. And that probably goes along well with your content strategy at Aven, is somebody that has personality, because their following, there is really going to be more of a community.
Yeah. And the word I loved of the morning was hook. Find your own personal hook and then find each post's hook and get them in those first 3 seconds. I also loved the millennial pause little moment of don't take that breath, or if you do, edit it out. I thought that was a great little edit.
I edited it out.
Do you do it though?
Yeah. I don't know. It's psychological. Like I hit that button. I'm like, I look up and make sure it is recording, and then I'll start talking. So I have to edit out the millennial pause.
That's amazing. I never heard of it before.
Yeah.
I think I had heard of it. I think when Lindsay was on the podcast earlier, she
talked about it. Yeah.
I didn't even know it was a thing.
So what are some other areas that were talked about, Mimi, that really stood out to you for high yield tips we can share from the meeting today to the audience?
The other part I think was, that really sticks with me is like how you create content when you're a medical professional and what you need. So it's a misnomer that you need all of this complex setup. Lindsay Zubritsky was saying she does it from her phone. Mamina said it's finding good lights and a ring light from Amazon. And so you don't need to have the super professional equipment.
Right. The note that I wrote down when they're talking about that is the best asset for your content is you. It's not the light. It's not the microphone. It's not, a high-priced editor. You are your best asset for your content. And so you have to put yourself out there, and it doesn't take fancy equipment. That may be nice at some point if you want it to look or feel a certain way, but you have to put yourself out there. And if you're not creating good content, no amount of lighting or fancy cameras are going to compensate for that.
Yeah, totally agree. And I think what I loved as well is, though, create it in blocks. Don't be unrealistic and think you need to stop your day every day and make one video. You can, in a block of an hour or two. I mean, Dr. Patel, I'm sure you know this
Right.
better than anyone, but I thought that was great advice for busy dermatologists and creators.
And the other thing that I took was about how you communicate complex information, because even at
Mhm.
Avène, you had science-backed
Yeah.
products. How can you communicate something, which you do very well, Dustin, in content so that it resonates with the audience instead of starting to talk about this is X, Y, and Z, disease, fungus, the complex scientific term that I'm
Yeah.
going to butcher. You say it in a layman's terms and you break it down in a way that makes sense. And Lindsay did this example of kind of a before and after of like, you could say almost like a science project, this is this,
Yeah.
versus saying that's not an infection. And then
Right.
you're like, wait, what is that? And so the difference to me was just an aha moment.
Yeah, it's so important. We know that when you're writing online, when you guys are doing copy for your website, whether you're creating videos online, you really want to tailor things to about a third grade reading level, is my understanding, because you want to, not in a way that patronizes your audience, but you really cast a wide net within your niche to bring in the most amount of people.
Yeah, it's really about short, succinct, and getting your point across so that they want to do further research. And then secondly, I also love the point of also use captions, because a lot of people are on mute at the
Yeah.
time. I know personally, I'm doing it late at night. I don't want to disturb the person next to me. So I am reading rather than listening. So again, with captions, you can tell whether or not it's too much, because if the person can't read it, then it's a great test.
Yeah, very good point. And also, people, whether they should or shouldn't be, might be watching in their cubicle at work,
Yes.
so they don't want the sound on. So captions are a good way to help you to reach an audience and retain people on your video that wouldn't watch otherwise. They're going to scroll if they don't see captions.
And also I thought something was interesting that Jenny covered on about ethics. So it was about sponsored content, making sure you have ad. But then the other part was, how do you engage with followers or not? So she doesn't answer DMs.
Yeah.
I thought that was really interesting. And how she monitors her DMs to make sure if she sees a question, and then she'll create content. The other thing she talked about is like following patients, not following patients, but really the importance of like working with a brand to make sure it's also on you. So if I was going to work with Avène, it's up to me to also make sure and do my due diligence that the sponsored and the disclosures are there.
That's important. And I know you guys have a robust legal department to make sure. Do you ever run into challenges with creators who don't want to follow the regulations, or by that point, they're working with you? They've already established
I
themselves.
think we're in an amazing industry.
Yeah.
We've never had a challenge, certainly with the dermatology community and even beyond. I think we all know what's right. We may have to remind once or twice, but it's become much more common. And I loved your comment, in your section where you said you'll get a lot of mailings, but you're not obligated to
Right.
post. I validate that
Mm.
from a brand perspective. We truly send them out of goodwill.
Yeah.
We want you to have the products. We want you to fall in love with it, and we want you to tell the story. But if you're not there, or if you're busy, there is no obligation to post. And I would be worried if someone's sending you a message.
Yeah. I've definitely heard that from a lot of people,
Wow.
usually from smaller brands, not the really big reputable brands, but smaller brands that are starting up. And I understand that they're scrappy and they're trying to get as much as they can, but it is an important thing to remember. Gifted PR is a gift.
There's no obligation. And really, I think it's important for the authenticity of the industry that we all keep that.
Yeah, I think it was such a good session. It was like people were like so hungry to learn. You could feel it, and you could feel how exciting the passion was in there too. And also what I liked is everybody did have their own lane. So everybody who went up has a different specialty, and they all actually do work with Avène.
Yes. I mean, we're so lucky to have an amazing portfolio, or faculty, as we really call them, our own faculty. We love our partnerships, but we know we've built it through pure science. And that's the feedback we get is dermatologists appreciate the science, appreciate the story. The fact that PFAB is owned by a foundation where we have a little bit of a different edge within the industry, and we love telling that story. It's important to our hearts. It was important to bring up social responsibility today. We're really excited that in the US, we're able to take next month, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, at the next level for Aven, and we'll really be supporting patients on Aven.com. Every unit sold, we will be donating a full-size sickle fate for scars.
That's
it's
great.
clinically proven to help patients with scars. We just want to get that in every patient's hands.
Yeah, that radiation dermatitis. And it really is about telling that story. And so anybody that's listening, Aven has a brand story and they tell it consistently. And that's the takeaway, I think, is learning what your story are. What are your core beliefs? And what are the guiding questions underneath your core beliefs? And then does your content answer those guiding questions that bring you down to your core beliefs? Because that's how you're going to pull your audience in and tell your brand story consistently through your content.
And yes, I took notes on that too. And also, you can't be everything to everyone. So think about your niche, think about what you're good at, and think about why you're there and what you want to talk about. I think that was the overarching message also.
Yeah. Well, I think we've shared a lot of the great tips. And if you didn't get to attend this year, we highly encourage you to attend next year because as far as I'm aware, we anticipate doing this again. We want to continue to provide this value because we firmly believe, and Aven backs that mission, that more physicians on social media sharing accurate information, dispelling myths is beneficial for everyone. Beneficial for the brand, beneficial for the physician, beneficial for the consumer and the patient. And if you want to continue to learn more about this, we have a little something we'd kind of like to announce.
I think we should.
So MedCreator 101 has been so much fun for us to create, and we want to find a way to provide more value than ever before. And so if you look at the podcast show notes or the video of this, there will be a sign-up link where we are launching a course that we promise will deliver value to you above and beyond anything we've been able to provide at this point. And we are going to be launching this at an introductory price. We know that it will be worth your time. If you have a desire, regardless of what your objectives are on social media, we want to be your friend and truly help you succeed and partner with you. It's not the type of thing where we're looking to make quick money on it and you're never going to hear from us again. We will be there with you every step of the way, making sure that we help you succeed with your goals on social media. So please look for the MedCreator 101 course started by Mimi Banks and myself, Dr. Portela, and we're providing every resource that we possibly can there.
Yeah, super excited. This has been a vision of ours. We actually spoke about it last year at Science of Skin. So it's super exciting for us that today we're launching this at medcreator101.com. The site is live, so that's really exciting. You can get on the wait list. And thank you to Lisa also for having us and sponsoring and having the vision and believing in bringing everybody together to provide the platform for the education.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of the MedCreator 101 podcast. Please go to medcreator101.com to learn about the course offerings that we have. We know that it'll be worth your time. And if you have questions about it before you consider purchasing, send us a message on Instagram at medcreator101. Leave us a 5-star review anywhere where you listen to podcasts, and we'll catch you on the next episode.